what she accepted him the way he is. She told him, listen, you don't have to prove anything to me. I'm fine. I like you the way you are. And so she doesn't criticize him, and she protects him, like we said, a woman. A woman protects her husband. That's what she did. Protects him, not to be dragged with all these friends to things that he has nothing to do with this. There's this proverb that say that behind every successful man, there's this ambitious woman that keeps pushing him and pushing him. And so there's a big difference between a woman that wants her husband to have success out of love, out of real care, or a woman that wants her husband's success that uses him, okay, to promote her own status. She wanted to be the most important woman, like we said before. She wanted to have the most beautiful jewelry. She wanted to still be called the most richest woman over there. She wanted to be the wife of the first lady. That's what she wanted. And also we see this difference between these two ladies later on. When wife of Korah just talks and talks and talks and doesn't do anything about this, the wife of On takes things into action. She tells him, listen, you sit here, I'll take care of the rest. And she doesn't let him go and be in touch with those people. And you see, Hashem gave humans, animals, creatures, whoever lives in this world, a special instinct how to be protected in their own home. We know that birds, they build nests, and some animals live in some caves and so on. Human being is the one that builds himself a home. Now it could be a very, very small, cheap tent that he would live in, and it could be the most expensive castle or the most expensive palace that he's going to build to himself and invest in there and put the most expensive tiles and the lustras and the windows and whatever he wants. But still, is this what a home is? What is exactly a house? Chochmot Nashim Banta Beita. What is building the house? What is this wisdom of a woman that built the house? Another window, another door, another wall. What exactly she builds there?
Family, relationship, children.
Atmosphere. Atmosphere is something that is up to the woman. It depends what type of atmosphere she builds in her house. If this is a positive home or is it a negative home. Negative home is the easiest to build. Your husband comes from work, you start complaining from here to tomorrow. The kids, the plumbing, the house, the bills, the this, the that. It's the easiest thing. But making a positive home is putting a smile into your face. Feel good about everything that you have. Feel happy about things that you have. When he comes home, you're greeting him. You're greeting to him. You're happy. And it screams out to your children. Your children feel the same also. This is what it means to build a home. And Hashem gave this special wisdom to the woman that she'll be able to build this kind of a thing. Men do not have this power. They don't have this strength. It says that when Sarai Menu passed away, Yitzchak was devastated. He was so sad, he couldn't comfort himself. Even Abraham, he couldn't. What was the special thing that Sarah had in the home?
Yes.
The Anan, right? The Anan, the Bracha, the Achala, the Nerot. So basically the Shekhinah was in there. Abraham, with all his special man that he was, Yitzchak, the spiritual man that he was, they couldn't make this Shekhinah over there. When this Shekhinah came back, when Rivka came to his house, this is when the Anan came back, and the Bracha, and the Shlom Bayit, whatever. back to the house. So, look, only then it says, ויביאה יצחק האוהל השרה עמו, and then וינחם יצחק. Then he felt comfort. Then he felt good. When Boaz got married to Ruth, it says that all these people gathered, all these elders gathered, and they blessed them, and they said, ייתן השם את האישה הבאה אל ביתך, the woman that comes to your house, כרחל וכלאה, אשר בנו שתיהן את בית ישראל. רחל and Leah built בית ישראל. What about Yaakov? All the struggles that he had with his sons, all the whatever he went through, it's not called after Yaakov. It's called after Rachel and Leah that built the house of Beit Israel. Okay? So, building a home, we're not talking about the house. Building a home, it's a woman. A woman, Jewish home, must be a presence for a home for the Shekhinah, for the presence of Hashem in there. We know that the Shulchan is the Mizbeach, so important. The food that you're going to make, the blessing that you put when you make the food. You know, when you cut the food, you can say again palov or again this, and I can't stand doing it. Or you can say it's for the health of the children and my husband. And when you make, it's not only chalot when you make, it's anything that you make, salads or you know, you bless, you put good, positive things, thinking, you know, once you're doing it, you know, so that the family and the children and the house, you know, should be blessed, should be healthy. And the menorah in the house is the bookshelf, you know. Have books, buy books, learn, get educated. It's very important, this wisdom that you have in the home. It brings a lot to the kedusha of the house. The kiyah is the sink. What we don't do in the sink doesn't stay there for 2 minutes without work. You constant work over there. And all the work of the house to make sure that you're clean, to make sure that only clean stuff goes through. And then we have the bedroom, which is Kodesh HaKodashim. It's like the two kruvim, there's what that were in the Kodesh HaKodashim, the most important thing. So in the Bet HaMikdash, two holy temples that we had, and the tabernacle, the Mishkan, the temporary Mishkan that we had before, when Hashem built, when the Jewish people had this merit to have this Bet HaMikdash, this is when it came to the same presence of the Shekhinah that was in the tents of Avraham and Sarah, Yitzchak and Rivka, Yaakov, Rachel, and Leah. So when we built the Mishkan, when we built the holy temple, when the Kohen goes there only once a year to the Kodesh HaKodashim, when the presence of Hashem was so, you know, you could see it over there. It was a special time, you know. This is when it just came to whatever used to be in the tents of our holy fathers and mothers. Look at the kedusha that they used to have in their tents. It says, this is something that the Ramban said. It says in Yeshayahu, "Habitu el Avraham avichem ve'el Sarah techolelchem." The Navi tells us, the prophet tells us, look how Avraham and Sarah conducted themselves. Avraham, you know, look at their tzniut, look at their devotion to Hashem, to the mitzvot, how they cared about other people. They didn't care about themselves. I know the mitzvot, I'm religious, leave me alone. They cared about all the others. Oh, Abraham used to convert men. Sarah used to convert women. They made a kirub, they taught, they made shurim, they brought people home. And it says, Vesara shomat. That was the description of Sarah. Sarah was listening. How many years Sarah lived with Abraham? Many years together, right? Doesn't matter. Living with him 10 years, or living with him 70 years, 80 years, okay? She's still listening. Many times, so you say to yourself, okay, I heard this already, you said it, we know it, give me something new. Sarah wasn't like that. She keeps hearing everything that he says. He speaks to his guest, he speaks to her, he speaks to this. She wants to listen. She's interested in hearing from him whatever he wants to say, whatever he has to say. So this is the beauty of Sarah. And when she hears him constant, she's there, communicating. She's there, she's caring. What is the reward that she gets? In their case, it says, Hashem tells him, Kol asher tomar lecha Sarah, shema b'kola. You have to listen to her, whatever she says. In education, in prophecy, she was, they say, even greater than Abraham. So we spoke about the Neldolek, the Anan. Dvorah was called Eshet Lapidot. Dvorah was a prophet, a female prophet. She was called Eshet Lapidot. Her husband was Barak ben Avinam. Wasn't somebody special. She made him special. How did she make him special? She used to send with him these candle wicks that she used to prepare herself to the Mishkan, and she tells him, go, bring it to the Mishkan. And he has to go and bring it to the Mishkan. Now, the way is very long, it's not easy, but he thinks about what I'm going to be there, when, what I'm going to talk there. He's going to see the Kohen there, he's going to see the Leviim over there, he's going to see there. And as he's there, he keeps being surrounded with the Kohen, with the Kohanim, with the Leviim. Atmosphere, that's what she wanted. She wanted him to have this atmosphere of the Holy Temple, of the Bet Knesset, of the Shul, of the center, of the Bet Midrash, of the right? And so he'll get something from there. He'll learn something. He'll get educated. He'll know what's Torah. This is how she made him a special man. Not by telling him, I know better than you, you're nothing, you're this. No, sending him all the time to shul. A woman, she sends her husband to learn Torah. For what? This is when you support your husband, when you tell him, listen, it's very important for me that you learn Torah, you show him that this is something that you respect very much. This is something that you want very much. When he sees that you care, that you want, that he's going to learn, he's going to learn. When he doesn't see this feedback from you, it's hard. Abba Chelkiah was the son of Choni HaMagel. You heard about him?
Mm-hmm.
Abba Chelkiah? He was a poor man, he wasn't a rich man. And it says that when he used to come from work, his wife would come out of the house, she would go to the field to greet him. What was the description, how she would greet him? She would wear all her best stuff, all her jewelry, she would adorn herself, look beautiful, so that her husband will see her. And this is how she would wait for him, greet him, bring him, come together to the house. We're nothing to compare to the wife of Eshet Chilkiah. When our husbands come for work, oh, you're here? Okay, fine. You're still on the phone. You're still you're texting. You're on the computer. You watch something. I don't know exactly what you're doing. And hello, the husband, when he comes home, it's like for you. It's not just your friend. It's your husband. You have to care. You have to respect. It's very important. Not only this, chinuch, house, is also educating. It says about the mother of Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah that she used to take him from young age, when he was still in the crib, used to bring him to the Beit Midrash, and he was there. What was the importance of that? So some ladies do it also today. What's the big deal? I'm sure that it wasn't only in the shul that you would get this atmosphere. I'm sure this atmosphere was at home also. Rabbi Yehoshua ben Hananiah was one of the greatest, smartest men ever. There's a lot of stories about him in the Gemara. If you know the story about the daughter of the Caesar, that she tells him, he wasn't a beautiful man, and she tells him, you're so wise, you're so clever, how come you're not in a nice body? So he tells her, where does your father keep all his wine? Utensils. From what? From clay. Utensils from clay? For wine in a king's home? You have to put it in a golden utensils, not? So she goes and she changes. He's right. Well, what's the deal? And then it got all spoiled, right? And so he told her that it's very important the inside, not the outside. But this was in a second that he was. He didn't have to think about it. He was very smart. And he used to argue a lot with the Chachmei Yavan, with the Greek philosophers. He was a very smart man. Let me give you an example of a woman that can build a house instead of destroying. So there was this woman. Her name was Leah. And Leah was married to David. David was a big zero. A big zero. What do I mean a big zero? In her opinion, right? Okay, so he would get up late in the mornings or early afternoons, whatever you want to call it. Used to go out with friends till late at night, used to drink with them, used to play with them, used to spend time with them. Didn't spend time with the children, didn't spend time with her, and wasn't special at all. Was a big zero, as we said before. That's how she felt about him. She had kids, she had this, and she struggled by herself. He didn't have a stable work. He would work in a certain job, and then he would invest some money. He would lose all his money over there, and continue to another job and lose money over there, and just collecting debts and debts and debts. And like at one point, she's like, "What do I need him for? I don't need him," and she wants to divorce him. So the rabbis tried to help, this tried to help, that tried to help, nothing helped, and they divorced. A year after they divorced, she hears that he got married to a nice lady by the name Dina. And she felt pity on her, because what kind of life she's entering, this guy that doesn't care about anything. She's going to start all over, But to her amazement, she hears all kind of regards. She gets regards, through the kids, through people that she meets, that David is now, he found a stable job. He works, he gets up early, he goes to his work, he comes back, he spends time with the children, helps them with homework, helps his wife around the house, go to sleep on time. From time to time he has a chavruta, he goes even to learn in the evenings, some shiur or something. And he's like completely changed. He doesn't have bad friends anymore that influence him. Come on, let's play another card game, let's do another thing, let's watch this, It's much, much better. How come? What exactly changed there? One day she meets Dina. And to her amazement, she found to be a very pleasant woman. And she's like, "Oh, how nice to meet you," Dina tells to Leah. "I heard so much about you. Your kids are so educated. They're good children, they listen." And she keeps just saying good and good and good. And so she asks him, "So how do you get along?" "I'm fine. My husband is okay." It's hard for him in the beginning. It's hard for him here and there, but I understand. He went through tough situations. His youth wasn't easy or something. She tells her, "I light a candle every day and I pray for him that Hashem will give him the strength, that he'll do good in work, that he'll succeed, that he'll have a good luck, that." Fine. She comes home and she's like, this woman doesn't look so intelligent. She doesn't look so, like she finished college or something, but she had more binayat Torah, this wisdom, than her, because Leah looks at her husband like he's a zero, he doesn't know anything, nothing is going to come out of him, and from the other side, the other one, Dina, she's like, he's capable, it's just hard for him, I'll help him. She admires him. And she tells it to the children. The whole atmosphere is different, basically. And this is how she was able, she wasn't so smart, but she, with her simple character, was able to build him. Okay? And this is something that Leah learned, that she never gave him a credit, she never gave him a chance, she never thought that he's capable, and this other she did, and this is why she had more success than her. Harav Leib Saras was called after his mother. His mother's name was Sarah. Which? Huh? Sarah. Leib Saras was his name. Which rabbi is called after his mom? And so the story over there, he lived around, I think, 250 years, something like that. Lived in Europe. And she was working with her father in, they used to sell wine and alcohol to Gentiles. And she used to work with her father. She was a beautiful woman. And the son of the owner of the whole village saw her once, and he wanted to marry her. She was a beautiful woman. One day he was drunk. He was sitting and drinking and talking to his friend and bragging to everybody that he's going to marry this girl. And over there sat one of the Melamdim, a guy that used to teach in the Jewish school, used to teach there, and he heard what he said, that he's going to go and marry her. So quickly he runs to their home and he tells them, listen, the son of the owner of the whole village, he wants to come and marry your daughter now. So they're like, what should we do? What should we do? How could we avoid? Well, we cannot really hide her somewhere. It's too fast. What exactly should we do? And so he tells them, you know something, I have an idea. We can make a fast wedding. I can marry her and give her a divorce right afterwards. I'm no problem with this. And they were like, okay, quickly. They call a rabbi, they call witnesses and 10 people. They make the chuppah. And then this guy comes and he wants to offer her marriage, and he's like, I'm sorry, she's married. We didn't know. Blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, and he left. Now, this guy, he wants to give her a divorce. He was much older than her. She was young, she was beautiful, he was much older. He wasn't her age or nothing. And he wants to give her a divorce. And this girl, she comes up and she says, no, this guy cared so much about me. And I saw that he has good qualities. He was caring, he was there, and now he's willing. I want to stay married to him. And her father is like, are you crazy? Why you want to get married to him? I can marry you off to I don't know. And she's like, no, I want to marry to him because I want to feel gratitude to him. And they stayed married. And this couple, okay, it's not really happening in a lot of examples like that, but this couple showed care for one another even before the wedding. A guy that his wife tells him, I'll do anything for you because you're so special to me, will carry her all his life, will pamper her all his life, will spoil her because she didn't have to marry to him, right? See where the starting point is, much higher than anybody else. A husband that gives so much to his wife and a wife that gives so much to her husband, came this Leib Saras. Leib Saras was doing so much kiruv at those days, bringing so much nefashot. A lot of people were almost mixed up with the Gentiles over there and almost lost themselves over there as Jewish, and he brought them back to Judaism because he cared. He got it from his parents. So when husband and wife, they have this kind of relationship at home, it screams out to the children. This is the home that we're talking about. So let's give some small reminders what to do to have this Jewish home. To create a positive atmosphere. We have learned so many times in the past, I gave you so much classes about positive thinking, how everything starts with the way that you look. You can live in the most beautiful home, but if you're not happy, you're miserable, you're sad, you're upset. Everybody, that's what happened to the Jewish people in the desert. Because they start with all this negativism, they stayed in the desert because they're not worthwhile for Israel. And wife of Korach, she keeps telling him that he doesn't worth anything, and this is not what we want. We want the other way. We want to create a good atmosphere at home, pleasant and warm, and to keep smiling. It's very important to smile. To be happy when the husband comes from work. To pay attention. Also when he leaves, you tell him, I can't wait for you to come. Can you do that?
I do that every day. That's why he comes to me.
To be happy with his present. That it's going to be important for you, even though he gives you something not so important. You tell him, listen, you are the best thing that happened to me. I don't care about this. You tell him a sentence like that, you are the best thing that ever happened to me, he's going to be in heaven. To pay attention to his taste in clothing, in other things. If you're the one that buys, you want to buy him a present, something for his birthday. If he doesn't like pink colors, don't buy him a pink color. If he doesn't like this type of pants or this type of I don't know, what you want. So pay attention to what he needs. To verify, to have all kinds of food. Don't have the same constant Shabbat dinner. Don't have the same kind of salads. Have a change. Here and there you change. You may make some colors, you make some this, you cut this way, you cut that way. Already it's different. Right?
Cooking classes.
You go to cooking classes. Nobody will teach you. So, to be calm when you eat. Sometimes in the middle of the food, which is the only time that you meet, you have to answer to the phone, you have to go to there, you have to run to him, you have to speak to your neighbor, you have to sit together a little bit, talk to each other a little bit, to be interested in what is interested to him, his schedule, who is he acquainted with, his friends, his circle, his hobbies, to pay attention to what is this common subjects that goes to both of you, and to speak about them, to communicate about this, to understand him when he's tired, when he's stressed out, especially in hard days. There are a lot of ups and downs, and the woman is supposed to be there not only when it's comfortable. The hardest nisayon is when it's not comfortable, and things happen in life. Unfortunately, when there's a time that he was laid off, it's a long time until he's going to find something. And all this long time, you have to be patient. You have to be pleasant. You have to understand him. You don't have to be on top of him. Tell me it's because of you. It's because of these. Because of your family. Because of your friend. You're not helping him this way. Explain yourself, communicate with him. Let's say, okay, so you were not able to do something. He asked you to do something, you will not be able. It happens that you couldn't do it. Explain yourself. Tell him that you won't do it again. Tell him that apologize, appease him. You have to say these things. If you never get these apologies, let's say, you do it, and he'll learn slowly that this is the way to be done after there's a dispute, after there's a small little fight or something. To respect his family, it's very important. To respect his customs, whatever he used to do. You tell him, no, in my parents we don't do it this way. You have to respect, you have to follow him, but you have to respect also the way he does things, the way whatever he thinks, the way his ashkafa is. Of course, if it's according to halacha, especially next to the children. If the child sees that the mother cares about the father, cares about his needs, right? It gives him a lot. Last thing that I want to tell you is to pray. same way that you water your flowers every day, and if you don't give them flower anymore because you think it got enough and you don't need it anymore, it's going to die. Same is our prayers to this Jewish home. You want this Jewish home to continue to be successful, and it doesn't go without praying. It doesn't go. And every time you make food, every time you fold laundry, every time you clean the house, it's praying. The praying reminds us that it's not my qualities that I run this beautiful home. It's not my personality. It's Hashem that gives you this strength to do these things. Once you remember that everything is from Hashem, it's easier. The Pele says, "Umichla la'avat isha leba'ala." How do we know that a woman, she loves her husband? Shetitpalel alav. She should pray about him, for him. Ki tfilat ha'isha mitoch sheliba. Because the woman, usually she's emotional. V'dimata metzuya. It's easy for her to tear, to cry when she prays. And when she cries to Hashem, when she prays to Hashem with all her heart, for success of her child, for the success of his job, for whatever it's going to be, for success in Shlom Bayit even, it's going to help, hopefully. Look at what the wife of On Ben Pelet. She didn't stop over there, where she just didn't let him go. She just made him drunk and she went and comb her hair in front of the tent. No. He told her, after all this thing happened and all these people died, he told her, I'm embarrassed to speak to Moshe. What should I do now? How should I talk to him? I feel so ashamed of the way that we acted. So she told him, you know something, you sit, I'll go and talk to him. She goes to Moshe and she tells him all whatever happened. Moshe comes with her to their house, to their tent, and he talks to him and he tells him, Hamakom yimcha lecha, Hashem will forgive you. I forgive you, Hashem will forgive you. And Rami Pano says something interesting, that this wife of On Ben Pelet, you see, it says in the Midrash that when the earth opened its mouth to swallow up all these people of Korach, it wanted also to swallow On Ben Pelet. And he was sleeping on the bed, and his wife is holding the bed, and she prays to Hashem, and she tells him, Hashem, On already swear that he is not in this machloket, and he is not going to be in this machloket. And I take responsibility. If he is going to go into any other machloket, this is when you're going to punish him. But for now, he's not there. Leave him alone. That's how she prayed, and he wasn't punished. And then Moshe also came and forgave him. This is when a woman cares for her husband. This is when a woman takes things into action. Okay? This is when it says, Alfano says, a rabbi that lived around 400 years ago in Italy, in his book about Gilgulei Neshamot, he says that the wife of On Ben Pelet came begilgul in Michal Bat Shaul. Michal was the daughter of the king, and then she got married to King David. And it says that King Shaul was chasing all the time after her husband. What's she's going to do now? She's going to listen to her father, or she's going to protect her husband? She protected her husband, she cared for him, and the same way that the wife of On Ben Pelet protected her husband, she protected King David. So, let's finish with when Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, we know that he was a very spiritual man. A lot of things were revealed to him. So it says that he asked, what is the reward of the greatest women, Jewish women that lived in the world? And they said that there are several, there are six, 1, 2, 3, 4, of halls, big, huge halls of the most righteous women that lived in the world. First hall is the hall of Bitya, daughter of Paro. In this hall, there are millions and millions of, I don't know, millions about, but thousands at least, of souls of righteous women that in their lifetime supported a lot of little Jewish children that were poor, didn't have money, gave them food, gave them support, gave them like the same way that Bitya did to Moshe. And this is a hall that's called Nashim Sha'ananot. Sha'ananot, I would say Sha'ananot would be, I guess, calm women or something like that. And the greatest pleasure is when Moshe Rabbeinu comes into this hall, and there's a whole big description how they look like, what they're wearing, how they're doing. He comes and they bow down to him, and there's a whole big thing over there. And then there's this hall of Serach bat Asher. Serach bat Asher was the daughter of Asher that came to Yaakov, her grandfather, and told him that Yaakov is alive. So in this hall there's the neshamot of all the righteous women that in their lifetime made good with righteous men. Helped them, supported them, encouraged them, the same way that Sarah did. And her biggest pleasure is when King Yosef comes with his crown, with his clothing, they come, they bow down to him, and whatever it goes over there. Then there's the Echal of Yocheved, the wife, the mother of Moshe Rabbeinu. In this Echal, there's the souls of all these righteous women that in their lifetime had the merit to bring special children to the world, special neshamot, like Yocheved had the merit to have Aharon and Miriam.